loves me and he loved me first. He rescued me when I was in a lurch, and I won't worry about a thing. To the left I'll fly, fly, fly. To the right I'll glide, glide, glide. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. I'm gonna swoop down low, low, low. Then I'll soar up high, high, high. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. Like a bird in the big blue sky, not a cloud or a care for a million miles. I won't worry about a thing. God loves me and he loved me first. He rescued me when I was in a lurch, and I won't worry about a thing. To the left I'll fly, fly, fly. To the right I'll glide, glide, glide. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. I'm gonna swoop down low, low, low. Then I'll soar up high, high, high. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. To the left I'll fly, fly, fly. To the right I'll glide, glide, glide. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. I'm gonna swoop down low, low, low. Then I'll soar up high, high, high. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. Yeah, and I won't worry about a thing. Whoa, and I won't worry about a thing.
God loves a giving heart. These families worked hard to raise money to build new churches through a campaign called Nothing Without God. This is their story.
Nothing Without God is a campaign to raise money to build churches in the state of Colorado.
When Nothing Without God came about, our children's pastor at Res decided that he wanted the kids just as involved as the adults.
It's important to us because we've just been feeling like we had to do something for God's glory, and this is the perfect way to do it.
It wasn't just about giving Ezra a nickel or a quarter or whatever that looked like to be able to take to church on the weekend. We wanted him to be able to do something to earn that, give him some skin in the game that makes it maybe a little more painful. Whether it was putting his shoes by the front door at night or making his bed or picking up toys, it gave him an opportunity to save pennies and starting to talk about what that actually was going to do. And it's not only just about us, but there's other people and other things in the world that we can sow our money into that God's given us.
To raise money for Nothing Without God, I sold my dirt bike that I worked really hard to get. It was something that I've had for a little while and didn't really use that much, but I really wanted to give a significant amount of money, and I thought that was the correct way to do it.
On the last Sunday of the campaign, Bentley decided that he wanted to give, and so he went to his room and he emptied his piggy bank and brought out everything that he had to give.
I could have brought a Lego set, but I brought my money to Nothing Without God and to let other people learn about God.
To raise money, we sold lemonade, cake, pops, and bracelets.
We bought our own supplies and we made the bracelets and cake pops ourselves. About 150 people stopped at our stand.
I chose to give the money because I just felt like it was the right thing to do, and I felt like at peace with doing it.
We wanted to make a difference and be a part of something so big and something so amazing. We hope that it will go towards churches and lead more people to God.
To be able to, even at 3 years old, save his pennies, be able to bring that to church and offer something that would replace maybe something else that he could get, a toy for Christmas or a toy for his birthday, and to be able to make an impact in the lives of others. Those little acts of generosity, those little acts of kindness, we know that go a long way.
I think it's important to give because I would rather give something for the greater glory of God than keep it for myself. It helps build good character and it makes you a stronger Christian and it makes you feel better about yourself too.
I hope God uses the money to make more churches and let more people know about him.
I think it's just amazing that even something so little that we could have done could have such an impact on people.
Yeah, it's really cool to think that people that haven't known him can know him now, and since there's going to be new churches around them.
It's kind of weird to think that the money that we gave might have brought more people to Jesus, and it's just kind of cool to think about.
Today, we're learning from the Bible. We're learning about God's truth. Today's story is about this woman that gave a couple of copper coins to the offering box. It might not be a lot, but it is what she had, and she gave what she had. Jesus didn't care about the amount of money given. He cared about the source. Boys and girls, when we give, the most value comes from a giving heart. Items may not be special because they're expensive and valuable, but because it reminds us of a friend or a loved one. When we give, it reminds us that we love God and we want to give back. And it shows God how much we love him. Boys and girls, why do we give generously? The Bible basically reminds us that different people might give differently. So if you're a millionaire, you might give in a different way. Or if you're someone without a home, you might give in a different way. It might be money or it might be something else. The main thing, based on today's Bible story, is that you give something that is meaningful to you. Something that costs you. Not just something that you have too much of anyways. When we give, we're not just getting rid of extra stuff. We're giving about what we have that can meet a need, even if it costs us. God doesn't really need our money, but he wants us to show our generous heart. That is why we gift.
Forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Mark, chapter 12, verses 41 through 44.
When Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey the week before Passover, the crowds were excited.
Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord! Hosanna! In the name of the Lord!
But the religious leaders were not.
He's turning the world upside down.
We'll have to fix that, won't we?
All week, the religious leaders sent men to try trapping Jesus with trick questions.
Teacher, is it right to pay taxes to Caesar?
Every time, Jesus gave a wise answer that caught them off guard.
Give back to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give back to God what belongs to God.
Jesus knew the religious leaders were so puffed up with pride, they didn't want people to listen to anyone else. Jesus even warned the crowds about them.
Watch out for the teachers of the law. They love to have the most important seats. They take over the houses of widows. They say long prayers to show off.
One afternoon, Jesus and his disciples visited the temple. They sat down to rest for a moment across from the box where people came to put money they offered to God. Perhaps the disciples, mostly poor fishermen themselves, were impressed by the rich men giving gifts.
Check out his robes.
I think they actually might be silk.
Jesus watched the rich men dropping handfuls of gold coins into the box. He knew that, like the religious leaders, they were proud to show how important they were.
Check this out, world. Money, money, money. Always sunny in a rich man's world.
Even though these wealthy men were giving impressive amounts of money, Jesus knew they had so much, this was easy for them. Simply a drop in the bucket.
Huh. She looks a little out of place.
The next person in line clearly wasn't wealthy. In fact, her patched robe showed she didn't have an extra cent to spare.
A widow, probably.
At that time, if a woman's husband died, she had no way to earn money and often had to live on next to nothing.
2 pennies?
How's that gonna help anyone?
Jesus was watching the woman too, but he saw something different, something more.
Come over here, all of you.
The disciples gathered around Jesus.
What I'm about to tell you is true. That poor widow has put more into the offering box than all the others.
Jesus' friends tried to sort it out.
Excuse me, pennies versus gold?
You couldn't buy an order of fish nuggets with that.
Jesus knew what his disciples were thinking.
The others all gave a lot because they are rich, but she gave even though she is poor. She put in everything she had. That was all she had to live on.
Oh.
When you put it like that.
The rich men, like the religious leaders, were concerned with what things looked like on the outside. They didn't want to give in a big way that might force them to change on the inside. But the poor woman, who had almost nothing, chose to give everything. And Jesus saw her heart and knew that her pennies were worth far more than the rich man's gold.
I like to think about the goodness of the Lord. He gives me everything I need and so much more. So I just want to lift my hands and say that I love him. I just want to lift my heart in praise. And I want to be thankful. I want to be faithful. I want to remember everything that the Lord has done. I want to be thankful. I want to be grateful. I want to be, I want to be, I want to be. I like to think about the goodness of the Lord. He gives me everything I need and so much more. So I just want to lift my hands